Good evening, everyone. I'm Georgia Davis, and welcome to AZ Illustrated Nature. Tonight, we'll take you to northern Arizona, where you'll see some of the challenges pertaining to water that are being faced by members of the Navajo Nation. This precious resource is scarce on their land, which leads to societal and economic hardships. But could the sun provide a partial solution to their problems?
All you really need to take a good clean bath or shower is just 3 gallons of water. That's the way we take our showers here. And it's a good conservation of water, a good preservation of water when you do that.
But first, here's a look at today's top stories.
Apple is opening a new manufacturing plant in Mesa, according to the Arizona Commerce Authority and Governor Jan Brewer. According to the governor's office, the move will bring in more than 1,300 construction jobs, as well as 700 permanent positions with the computer company. In recent weeks, the business community in Metro Phoenix has been speculating that Apple was moving to the area and possibly eyeing a shuttered first solar plant in Mesa. The Salt River project was heavily involved with the recruitment of Apple, working with the company to create renewable energy sources for the manufacturing facility. No dates for when Apple will open the doors on the facility in Mesa were announced. The Arizona Game and Fish Department is announcing an agreement in principle with Rosemont Copper over wildlife management at a proposed mine site in the Santa Rita Mountains south of Tucson. Under the deal, Rosemont Copper will provide funding to Game and Fish in order to handle wildlife conservation actions in the impacted area. Should the federal government approve the mine, Rosemont Copper will also maintain responsibility for any damage done by that mine. Election Day is tomorrow in the city of Tucson and other parts of Pima County. In Tucson, voters will cast their ballots for 3 city council seats, but that election's being conducted fully by mail. That means if you did not mail your ballot in by now, you need to drop it off at one of 7 polling sites. Go to the elections section of our website, news.azpm.org, to find a list of the open polling places. Any ballot not received by 7 o'clock tomorrow night will not be counted. We'll have coverage of the election results throughout tomorrow evening. And that's a look at tonight's headlines.
Hundreds of millions of Americans have connections to clean and dependable sources of water at home. They simply turn on the faucet and they can use as much as they want thanks to their local water company or their well. But worldwide, this easy access to water is not the norm, and you don't have to travel very far to learn about some of these challenges. On the Navajo Nation in northern Arizona, many people often spend a lot of travel time and money to buy water. But there is growing optimism that the sun and modern technology may be able to provide some relief. Tonight, we'll tell you about the quest to provide solar-powered desalinization for members of the Navajo Nation and beyond. This Friday, November 8th, you'll be able to learn much more about this topic as part of a panel discussion on the University of Arizona campus, which includes a segment from Arizona Public Media's documentary, Seeking Water from the Sun. Tonight we have a program preview for you. Joining us in our studio is Ardeth Barnhart. She is the program director at the University of Arizona Renewable Energy Network. Also here is Andrea Corral. She is a doctoral candidate at the Chemical and Environmental Engineering Department at UA. Thanks to both of you for coming in today. So I'm going to start with you, Ardeth. Tell me a little bit about your role on the project.
Well, I've been working on this project with Dr. Wendell Ela, who is a co-principal investigator from the College of Engineering since 2009. And at that time, the Bureau of Reclamation came to us and wanted to find out if we could put together a sustainable source of energy for desalination water treatment systems up on the Navajo Nation. So we've been working together on this project for several years, and starting this year, we'll start to see really the culmination of a lot of this work and the introduction of this system on the Navajo Nation.
Okay, and Andrea, you've been involved in this project from day one, correct?
Yes, I started my doctoral research with Dr. Wendell Ela and Ardeth and started with the development of the technology in the lab, and then scaled it up to different prototypes and pilot plants.
Okay. So, in Ardeth, how did you first hear about some of these challenges that are happening on the Navajo Nation?
Well, it's a really interesting situation. I think the water treatment technology is somewhat well understood, but the idea was to see if we could connect the technology that's beginning to become more prevalent with renewable energy to really meet the needs of people that are not connected to the grid. So it really started with a study in the community, and we went to the community and we did a lot of water testing in the wells. We spoke with the people that live there to learn how they're using water, what the challenges are, what their needs and interests were in finding a solution to what they're facing right now. Primarily what they're facing is an issue of water quality, and they're accustomed to driving to, the people that are not connected to the grid are accustomed to driving several miles to get water. But as the water quality tends to deteriorate, they're traveling further and further, and it's costing them more and more in order to get quality water.
Right, so, something that we all take for granted, of
exactly.
course. Right?
And we take it for granted too because it's a lot cheaper than what they're having to pay for. So the question was, can we utilize what they're doing already within their communities, but make it a lot cheaper and easier, utilizing solar energy and water technology treatment that we've designed here at the U of A.
To see some of these challenges being faced by members of the Navajo Nation, here's an excerpt from Seeking Water from the Sun. This documentary was produced by Tom Klesby and Dustin Craig.
You can't trade living at this place for its serenity and calm and peace. I believe this is probably the third generation of family living here. I have 3 children. I've been married for 43 years to my husband, and he's from the Hopi tribe. My name is Rosie Sakayaptua. As a Navajo woman, I must properly introduce myself. My clans, my 4 basic clans are Nashteshitkapaha, Twedijini Bashichin, Bizatlan Bashche, Kilichini Dachanale, and that is how I am as a Navajo woman. I lived in Phoenix off the reservation for quite a long time, more than 30 years, and recently tracked back over here. It's a beautiful place, though it's a little bit of harsh living. Out here, we don't have running water. This is the way we take a bath or a shower. And this cup is a very important cup in our household. So what we do is we take that much, of course it'll take that much, it's 2 cups of water. And we pour it over ourselves, we stand in here and shampoo up and soap up and then rinse off. And so all you really need to take a good clean bath or shower is just 3 gallons of water. That's the way we take our showers here. And it's a good conservation of water, a good preservation of water when you do that.
The Navajo Nation, the current homeland of the Dene, or Navajo people, is the largest reservation in the United States. More than half of tribal members, about 175,000, live on the reservation, which is mostly arid, high desert grassland, receiving less than 10 inches of annual precipitation.
Water is scarce here, and we talk about water all the time. When we talk about water, we talk about different kinds of water, whereas most folks do not do that. Out here we talk about drinking water, and then also water for animals. We also talk about water for our trees, and if we have a garden, we also have water for gardening. And those sources of water we get from many distances.
Currently, about 40% of the population on Navajo does not have access to the kind of water infrastructure that you and I normally would take for granted. They spend an inordinate amount of time during their week going back and forth to get water. They spend more money than you and I do on water, and it puts them in a category that we call energy poverty, where they're spending over 10% of their income on just traveling back and forth to get water or provide energy in their homes.
We continue the conversation about the quest to provide solar-powered desalinization on the Navajo Nation and beyond, thanks to scientific efforts at the University of Arizona. Joining us in this conversation is Ardeth Barnhart from the University of Arizona's Renewable Energy Network. Also here is doctoral student Andrea Corral. So let's talk about desalinization for just a moment. That's been the focus of your work, right?
Yes. So there are two main technologies to desalinate water: membrane technologies and thermal technologies. The advantages and disadvantages of these technologies vary from the amount of energy that you need to apply in the system and the economics. So when we faced this project, we decided to combine these two technologies and find a more efficient way to treat the water. So once we combined these technologies, the challenge was to look for available membranes and other parts of the process to put it together so it will be easy to be deployed in the Navajo Nation.
Okay, and we'll talk a little bit more about the technology in just a moment. Let's talk about some more of the challenges of the water challenges on the Navajo Nation. So what is the challenge there?
Well, we did a number of tests in the wells out there and found that there's very high salinity in some of the wells. And it's to the point where a lot of the cattle and the livestock that they rely on for their income are having trouble finding adequate water. So the first challenge for us was to see if we could find a well that could be treated to deliver water for the cattle to drink. And they are seeing increases in the amount of salinity, the amount of nitrates and other contaminants in the water from mining and changes in the climate and drought in the area.
Okay, so are we seeing lowering of the water table and intrusion? Is all of that happening in this area?
It is not happening in the area that we're looking at right now, but it certainly is happening in other parts of the Navajo Nation. The well that we're concerned with mostly has very high salinity content, and this system will be able to take out most of that saline content and deliver potable water and water for the cattle.
Okay, and there are a number of people involved in this project. Andrea, how many students, and what's this team that you're working with?
Well, we are about 6 students, and the students have different roles. I am mostly working in the bench scale and the modeling. There's a student that's just working on the modeling. Others work with brine disposal and brine manifestation, and all of these are put together to be able to actually go to the Navajo Nation and make the project work.
Okay, so modeling, when you're talking about modeling, so tell me a little bit about the steps that you're going through before you take this to the Navajo Nation.
Well, the way that we started is we chose a membrane that was available in the market. We put it through different tests, increased the water salinity from 5% of sodium chloride to 4 times the seawater concentration, so very high salinity, and test how it will perform, change the water temperature, which was one of the main parameters to see how much water you can produce. And then after we did all of these, we put this data into a mathematical model to be able to predict how much water, what is the energy that you will need, and what type of membrane you need to use. Okay. And all of these are key components to be able to have the project in the Navajo.
Okay. Well, now we'll learn a little bit more about the scientific efforts to produce effective solar energy-powered desalination, or desalination. This is another excerpt from the Arizona Public Media documentary Seeking Water from the Sun. It was produced by Tom Gillespie and Dustin Craig.
Most solutions are designed for individuals or nations, not for community wells. One group trying to find a solution for a reservation well outside of Loop, Arizona, is the Navajo Nation solar desalination demonstration project.
There's an economy of scale. As the size of the facility goes up, the price per unit of water produced goes down. So big plants are cheaper in terms of dollars per gallon of water to develop than small plants. What we're talking about here are usually facilities that you're talking about trying to provide water for a relatively small population in a relatively remote area. So we're talking small scale, or that inherently makes it much more expensive than if all that population were in one place and we could make one plant for them. I think your guess is maybe 130 or something.
The project's co-principal investigator, along with his college students, have designed and installed water purification solutions throughout the world.
There are no real good technologies out there to desalinate or to purify the impaired water that oftentimes we'll find in arid lands, inland areas. It's not like this is trying to go one better on the alternatives are there. We're trying to find an alternative, one option.
I think it's inches.
You build the smallest version you can get that incorporates all the aspects that will be at the full scale. And so that's really what the prototype is, trying to go to that whole process at the smallest possible scale that allows you then to project really what will happen when you take it out to the full scale in the field implementation.
An evolving solution is concentrated on tapping into a resource abundantly available in most dry regions, the sun. With nothing yet designed to meet the specific problems for those who use the loop well, the scientists and engineers are starting from scratch. The most important part of the process is building a prototype, proof that the concept and design will actually work. For the second prototype, the team has chosen a new technology to purify the water. A canister filled with membrane straws will filter out unwanted properties from the well water by evaporating the water through the membrane. The unit will also use the sun to heat the water and to power the pumps that circulate the salty water through the cleansing membrane and into a tank. Using commonly available parts, construction goes through various versions, from benchtop to rooftop.
There we go. Now it's getting flexible. So the problem is that it's not going to work the way we want it to. So we're going to have to put in a PVC Y. The other option too is that we can always raise these.
It's very much educated guessing. Sorry, we'll get that kink out.
Yeah. And as it passes through across the membrane, what's going to happen is that water vapor is going to transfer across the membrane, and this will be full of water vapor here. This is great. What are we at? Yeah, I'm really optimistic. So what we've learned is that number one, we need to reduce the cost of everything. Closed, we need to simplify our system. We're going to go ahead and let it run for a couple hours probably initially. All the lessons we learned here, we're going to apply to our pilot plant.
And now continuing our discussion about some of the technology behind this project in the Navajo Nation. So, tell me a little bit more about, what it takes to actually do something at this scale.
Well, like I said before, you need to start in the lab because when you have a smaller scale, you can try different parameters and very different variables to be able to know how it's going to perform. So we started with the membrane and, we changed the water temperature to see which one will be the best temperature, the optimal temperature to produce the maximum amount of water. And at the same time, we included salt and different concentrations of salt to see how much this will affect the water flux, the clean water flux. And another important factor was, what is the quality of the final water? Is it going to be clean enough to be able to combine it and create and reach to the concentration that the goal concentration, or is it going to be not good enough. So that's what we were working on.
Okay. And so where are we in this project right now? I'll throw that one to you, Ardeth.
Okay. Right now, we're just starting the completion of the prototype that's going to be installed up at the Navajo Nation. So we've already contracted with a solar company in California. They've installed the solar system up at the well site in Loop. And the reason we're working with a commercial company, and this is very important, is at the end of this project, we're going to be able to transfer the knowledge and the technology to the community itself so that they will be able to replicate it and place it in other places within the Navajo Nation that they think is significant areas or may be useful, may find the technology useful for that particular area. So we really focused on working with companies and components that are commercially available, so there's not a lot of custom work being done in this prototype. So right now the solar system is installed up on the Navajo Nation, and we'll be up there in a couple of months with the water treatment system and start to integrate that. And as we do that, we're going to be working very closely with the community itself so they can see how the system is put together, learn how to operate and maintain it, and think about how they're going to incorporate it and distribute it across the Navajo Nation in the future.
Interesting. So you said it's not necessarily custom. So is this something that could then be taken and used elsewhere?
Exactly. So the idea is that it is a small system. It's not connected to the grid, and it's modular. So this system could scale to a much bigger size somewhere else on the Navajo Nation or somewhere else in the world that may be dealing with water that has high salinity problems or brackish groundwater that has particular quality problems. So the idea is that a non-technical engineering type of person could put together this system and install it at a well site or in a water system.
Interesting. Wow. So this really could make a difference in a lot of places around the world that have problems with access to clean water or water in general.
That's what we're hoping. That's the goal of the project,
Yeah.
is to be able to look at this kind of latitude around the world and see where it maybe help to solve some of those problems.
Wow, that's interesting. That's kind of cool work. I mean, I can't imagine what it must be like being able to work on something like this.
I can't think of anything better.
Sure. So, well, let's talk about the economies of scale and the cost, though, because of course, clean water is one thing, affordable clean water is another.
Yes.
So, any sense at this point like what something like this is going to cost?
So they're pumping water right now with a windmill, and certainly a solar water treatment system is going to be much more expensive than just merely pumping the existing water out of a well. So our goal was really to see if we could produce this system at the same cost that it's costing them to drive round trip to collect clean water. And once we get to that kind of even price with what they're paying right now, we can start to optimize the system over the next coming year and get those costs down so that they're paying a lot less, more equitable to the kind of amount of money that we're paying for water now.
Okay. Well, Andrea, so tell me a little bit about what it's been like for you being able to do PhD work on this project.
Well, I have been very lucky to work with Dr. Ila and Ardeth, and it's been an amazing learning experience to start just in the lab and now eventually see it in the Navajo Nation. It's going to be a great experience.
Well, after this, so what are your future plans? Are you going to continue working in desal?
Oh, I would love to. This is what I really like to do and I enjoy doing.
Anywhere in particular you want to do that work?
Oh, I don't know. I'm open to the possibilities.
Wherever comes open.
Yeah.
And how about you? I mean, what is your future plan? I mean, at some point this project will be complete, I guess, as complete as it can be.
Well, we'd like to see where this particular type of technology can benefit other communities in the world. We'd like to also see how it actually may be utilized further on the Navajo Nation and see how they're able to incorporate it either in their economic development plans or in their technology plans, and really look at what role it plays as an alternative to fossil fuels and the pumping of water using traditional methods.
Interesting. So where can people go if they want to find out some more information about this?
Very soon to the Renewable Energy Network website.
Okay. Sounds good. The panel discussion about the quest for clean water using solar energy is this Friday, November 8th from 3:30 to 5 in the afternoon. It's being held at Gallagher Theater in the university's Memorial Center. The event is free and open to all alumni, faculty, students, and the public.
Federal prosecutors cracked down on a major hedge fund today, securing a guilty plea on insider trading charges and a total penalty of $1.8 billion. Egypt's ousted President Mohamed Morsi appeared in court, charged with inciting murder and violence, but defiantly insisting he is still the country's legitimate leader. And Hari Srinivasan tracks a New York City family trying to get by on one parent's $8 an hour wage.
It's easy looking from outside in and saying, oh yeah, with that money I'll be able to, build mountains. Let me see you survive. I want to see anyone. I challenge you. Do it.
Those are just some of the stories we're covering on tonight's PBS NewsHour.
The Osable River is one of Michigan's most popular trout fishing spots.
You gotta get out on the water.
It's also an unlikely example of how anonymous political donors can now influence local elections. I'm David Green, fly fishing and huge outside political contributions in Michigan on the next morning edition from NPR News.
Fall and winter's colder, shorter days bring many people indoors in the rest of the country, but here in southern Arizona, it's usually the opposite. The abundant sunshine and mild temperatures entice many longtime residents to explore our natural beauty after enduring what sometimes seems like an endless summer. Here are some of the natural changes that you can expect to find this month in our great outdoors. This segment is produced by Tom Gillespie.
Hello, I am Jesus Garcia from the Arizona Sonora Desert Museum. When it comes to unique vegetation, few places on Earth can beat the Sonoran Desert. We may not have the typical fall that other temperate regions do. However, if we look a bit closer, we can actually find the splendor of the fall colors right here in the desert. The most obvious places to start are the low and mid-elevation riparian areas where the velvet ash trees, cottonwoods, willows, and sycamores snake across the canyons. For those of you who want to find fall colors right here in the lower desert, I have a suggestion for you. The month of November brings the first chilly temperatures. Many desert plants respond not only to the cold, but also to the lack of moisture we usually have these months. In order to appreciate these subtle desert colors, you must get up close and personal. To an ocotillo, a creosote, or a limber bush, a mesquite tree, or a foothills palo verde. These plants have very small leaves, and many of them do turn from bright green to yellow before they fall. If you pay close attention, it will pay off.
And that's our show. To post a comment on any of these stories or to keep up with the latest news, you may visit our website at azpm.org. I'm Georgia Davis. Thanks for watching.